Hello everyone, this is Jessica from Madame Sticks YouTube channel, and I'm going to show you all how I make my version of the Olive Garden's zuppa, toscana, or however you say it. So here's what I used. I put it in a crock pot too because that's what I have to use to fix it in. I put in the bottom of the crock pot just a drizzle of olive oil. Just a little drizzle, zigzag all the way across the bottom of the crock pot thing. Then what I did is I used one of these packages of Italian sweet sausage. After I used that, I put in the bottom, I put a package of this mild Italian sausage. And then what I did after that is I took my little thing here, my little chopper, and chopped it up. You chop it up really good. And then I used all kinds of Italian seasoning. But with my seasonings, what you do is as you keep on chopping all along in this process too. What you do though is I didn't use that much salt. Basically all I did was I didn't fully cover it, but I sprinkled some salt across the meat on both the sausages. And then I used a ton of paper. And then for this recipe, if you got kind of good quality paper, you kind of want to use it in this recipe, or I prefer to anyways. And then I used a little bit of actually a good healthy proportion of thyme. And I also used a good healthy proportion of parsley flakes. And then the Italian seasoning, I used a lot of Italian seasoning. But like I said, with your seasonings, what you want to do is as you're chopping things up and covering things, every time you chop stuff up and you cover things, you want to cover it with all these seasonings. And I like a lot of, this is supposed to be an Italian recipe anyways, so I used a lot of Italian seasoning. The only thing I didn't use a whole lot of is the salt, and you don't have to. And I used a ton of paper for this recipe. And I also used a lot of the parsley flakes and the thyme. Anyways, after you get that, you want to put your bacon. It's microwavable bacon, and that's what I got next. It's the thick cut kind, and you want to fix it in the microwave. Take it out of the microwave, and then you want to start chopping it up into your sausage and all your seasonings. After you get that done, you want to start chopping it. And I don't have a chopper. I've told you all that in a different video. And whatever I have is what I have to cook with and use my utensils and pots and stuff. So anyways, what I used for my onions, I used these yellow sweet onions. I used one whole bag of those chopped up into little pieces, and I just used a knife to chop them up. But you kind of want to get them as small as you can, chopped up on all your vegetables and anything you put into your pot. Anything you're chopping up with a knife, you want to kind of chop it up as finely and small as you can. And then I used a bag and a half of the yellow sweet onions because I love onions, so that's why I use so many. And then after I got that done, which you're continuously, as you're chopping and keep on adding stuff to your pot, you're continuously adding more layers to all these seasonings except for the olive oil. You only do the olive oil one time. Anyways, after I got that done, I had 2 green bell peppers left over from making the cornbread salad that I made the other day. So I added those to this pot. I chopped them up and added them to this pot. And then I also bought 2 hot red bell peppers, and I added those to the pot and chopped them up. And then after I chopped them into the pot and mixed them around or whatever, I added 1 whole little jar like this of garlic, minced garlic. I put that in there and chopped it up and mixed it around. And then after I got that done, I used, trying to think if there's anything I threw away that I don't have out here. I used, let's see. I used one whole thing of this chicken broth after I did the garlic. And no, before I put the chicken broth in, I forgot. I used one whole bag of the small bags of the potatoes like that. So I used one whole bag like that. And at the end, I chopped them up all real small and tiny, as you can tell on most of them. I don't have a spoon clean. I'm doing dishes and cleaning too. But you chop them up as small as you can. But at the end of the bag, the last potato, you kind of want to keep one. Let me see if I can show you all. I keep one and I just kind of leave the skin on it and just chop it sideways, a little bit thin and a little bit thick, in between, I guess you could say. And I just put one potato like that on the top of it. Then I put my chicken broth in. And then after that, I don't have it out here, but I used half of a container, I got the largest container that my local store had of the heavy whipping cream, half and half creamer. And I put half of the that creamer into the pot too. And then I also used 1.5, almost 2 sticks of butter in this recipe too. And then what I'm lacking, what I haven't put in yet because it's not time to, is whenever this cooks up a little bit more, I'll put in, and a lot of y'all might say, ooh, that's so gross, because I got one that was kind of like on sale or whatever, but I got a whole package like this of the kale, and I only paid $1.20 for it. But it doesn't matter because it's going in your soup, and it's going in there in the end after this stuff kind of cooks for a little bit. So it doesn't matter if it's like dead looking or whatever, in other words. So when this cooks up a little bit, I'll be adding the kale to this pot. And then after that, and you just want to make sure everything's mixed good and chopped good in there. And this might look gross right now, but I'll show y'all in a different video after this gets done and my bowl of this plated up or whatever. But anyways, when this gets done a little bit more, it starts cooking, and I got it in the crock pot, and I didn't degrease it either, like from the meat, from the hamburger meat or nothing, because that stuff does not matter for this recipe. But anyways, after it gets a little bit closer to time, when I put my kale in and this stuff cooks down a little bit, I'll add the rest. I'll put in like a little side bowl, I'll use cornstarch, and I don't have that out here, but it's up in the cabinet. I'll use cornstarch, just a little tiny bit of cornstarch, not even probably like a tablespoonful. And then I'll probably use not even another, maybe like 3 tablespoons full, if that, of flour. And it doesn't matter what kind of flour you use. I'll just use whatever I have. And then I'll put a little bit, maybe like not even a half a cup full of the rest of the heavy cream into the little bowl, and I'll mix it together. And I'll pepper mine real good, and I'll put the Italian seasoning in mine because that's what I like. And then I'll stir that together, and then I'll add that to the pot. And then whatever's left over from my box of the heavy cream, I'll finish adding that to my pot, and then I'll let that cook for a long time. And then that's how I make my Olive Garden zuppa toscana soup. But I make it a little bit different than what a lot of people like. And I like peppers, and I like seasonings. I love butter, and I love onions. So I always, anytime I'm cooking and stuff, I always add extra to it. And actually, if you want to, you can even buy 2 things of these packages like this. They're pretty good size of kale. and you can even add another whole package of potatoes if you wanted to, or onions, whatever you all want to do, whatever you like. You can always keep adding into this soup. I've done it before, and it usually lasts my family for about 3 days, and everybody gets 2 or 3 servings or more a day. And this soup right here, everybody loves this soup. I don't know anybody who don't like this soup. And so it's really good and it's really tasty. And you can always take out or add things to it, what you do and don't like. But I'll show you guys on a different video what it looks like whenever it's done and it's plated up. I appreciate y'all for watching, and I will talk to y'all later. Thanks. Bye.